We're all set. So I just told you a little bit about me and my background. Would love to hear about your background as well and your experience.
Yeah. So just in terms of, ironically, your 4-year cycle of moving up here, I also moved up here in 2020. And by up here, you're upstate, right? Like, are you guys in Tivoli?
We're in Hudson.
Oh, you're in Hudson. Okay, fine. So I'm just outside in Ghent, about 20 minutes outside, near the Hawthorne Valley Farm. And I have, fallen into the study of alternative medicines when I was really young. I just got really into it. And I was always pursuing acupuncture and Ayurvedic foods and medicines. It just always made sense to me. I fortunately had very good health and things, but I just didn't like the idea of people just taking medicines and pills for, like, you have a headache, you take a pill, you have this, you take a pill. It just seemed crazy to me. So I've always been on this path and have pretty much used the predominance of my healing and maintenance of life for the past 30 or better years has been with traditional, I don't know, like technologies, if you will. It's like these are ancient systems that have been around forever and people just keep improving on them. So it just makes sense to me. I've had rosacea since I was in my mid 30s, and it's something that I was usually able to kind of adjust or treat just with facials and, care and things like that. But in 2018, I got a disruption that was like I had never had. I mean, my full face with like red pustules, the whole thing that usually you see, the like classic rosacea. And it was really overwhelming for me. So I did a lot of acupuncture and different herbs, Chinese medicine, Chinese herbs. And, I had good luck with it. And I was able to sometimes, get the genie back in the bottle, if you will. I recently went to the dermatologist to check something that I thought I get these things on my hands. And she took a biopsy and she thinks it's this other autoimmune, condition. And it's like, I could go down that pathway and like put all my energy into that. But the truth of the matter is, I'd rather just continue to strengthen my immune system and strengthen myself internally, with diet, exercise, meditation, etc. And, focus on being well in my head more than going down this path and treating this,
Yes.
So I started on the Reishi and the Chaga. I keep them on my desk because it's easy to remember, they're here. And I started on them 5/16, so May 16th. And I would say literally within a week, I noticed a difference. Like I think my skin cleared. And so I have rosacea and I'm Irish, obviously. So my skin by nature is very pink. And also it's very like almost translucent. So anything that, like if I get flushed because it's too warm out, or if I'm tired, just different things show up more on me than if I had like more, pigment, if you will. I just feel that this overall is just giving me, a lot of clarity. And it's also the issue that I was having on my hands just been better. It's been really good. So I'm already thinking of what I'm going to do on my next cycle because I probably have maybe a week's worth these, and I want to finish these, and then I want to start on 2 more. I might stay on 1 and alternate. I have a couple of ideas, but I'm going to think about that. What's funny too that I think about with mushrooms is the idea of, isn't it mushrooms that have this whole life under, like I know there's spores and stuff, but when they grow like on the mushroom forest, there's like a whole connected web that goes down for it's similar to trees, like there's forests where the connection is just branching out so far and wide. I think of that with mushrooms, the sense of like something so connected and rooted that helps us. And I think, like you said, energetically, it not just helps us, but if it can help the larger, the greater good, then we're really something. And I think that's part of healing. But I just love this idea of using something that grows naturally in the earth to heal. It just makes sense to me. So this has really been great, and I love this product. So anyway, thank you so much.
Yeah, the mycelium, so that's what it's called, the mycelium structure. Right. So it's what's really amazing. There's so many things about the mycelium connections that are fascinating, but 2 things that have really resonated with me is that, so after the 5th mass extinction on Earth, the mycelium connections is what allowed for plant growth to happen. And obviously plant growth is what propelled species to develop, mammals to develop, and then led us to our forests and humans. So it's like literally the world as we know it right now, as humans, as other sentient beings, developed from mycelium. That is incredible. Secondarily, the mycelium roots actually connect all of the, because of that, naturally, they connect different plants into this like giant, I don't know how to describe it, but basically they're all connected, and the mycelium is incredibly intelligent and can tell, like, okay, so if this tree over here is in the shade, it's not getting enough sunlight. So how can we now pull vitamin D, nutrients, whatever, from these other plants that are over here to help this plant grow and survive? And it does the same thing with water. It is incredibly, incredibly intelligent. And I really like to describe to people that what mushrooms, fungi, and mycelium networks have done for our planet is what they do to our bodies too, because it's really working on a deep, deep level. It's helping all of our systems because, we have our endocrine, our nervous systems, our digestive systems. Like we kind of are a giant planet in ourselves. We have all of these living organisms inside of us that also need help connecting and finding balance. So I'm really happy that you have been on board with the tinctures for a few months now, because I really try to describe to people, like, this will take time and it could be frustrating. Any type of healing cycle is going to have its ups and downs naturally as you refine balance and you adjust. So just stick with it. And the changes can be really, really subtle, like especially if you're taking the lion's mane or the super mushroom, which has lion's mane in it. Just notice your mood, just notice like how you're feeling, how you respond to stress. I mean, I'm just curious, what are you thinking of doing next? Because you're on the Chaga and the Reishi now.
Yeah, so I really want to focus on digestion and, well, hormones and digestion. So, I've been studying a lot because menopause has really kicked my ass. Like none of my like menstruating life, if you will, ever bothered me. Like I just was regular. I didn't have any headaches or back. And it was I just was lucky. I was very, very lucky. But menopause has been like just kicked my ass. And the hormone imbalance, I think, has been really hard. So I was thinking of staying on the chaga, but then I was wondering I had one thought about going to the maitake
Mhm.
for the like gut biome slash immune support kind of thing. Because I like the idea of doing two at a time.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense. I think the super mushroom is something I would do later after I like kind of
Yeah.
address some things. It's more of like a maintenance to me.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's how I'm thinking.
Great.
But
Well, sounds
yeah.
like a good plan, and definitely, definitely keep in touch. We should have a restock at City It, but as I mentioned before, you can always order on our website and get a discount with the subscription. But if you're, picking and choosing different things, you'll figure out what works for you. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Have a beautiful day.
Good to connect, and hopefully I'll see you around town.
Yeah. Bye.
Take care.